Hello, I'm Ellen McCloskey, and this is my non-degree endorsement e-portfolio for my practicum experience. I'm going to jump straight into the candidate info and contents. And so first of all, this is my artifact folder that hosts all of the documentation from the activities that I completed throughout this practicum and throughout the past semester and while I've been enrolled in this program, and it's sorted out by different standards. So if you click into the standard folders, then you're able to access those activities that correlate back to the standard, and then they're also included in the slideshows that they pertain to, whether that be district, elementary, or secondary. This is my personal goals video, so it goes through and discusses what my goals are for the next 1 to 5 years, for the next 6 to 10 years, and then beyond 10 years. It also includes my educational leadership philosophy, and this was something that I really enjoyed doing because I had never built an educational leadership philosophy prior to this course, and so it was nice to be able to take a look at truly what is the reasoning behind me wanting to get into a program like this, and what makes me want to become a school leader. And so I went through and described my different leadership styles, and I also was able to cite various leaders that also follow these same practices that I believe that I align with as well. This is my plan of study. So these are the courses that I completed in according to the semesters that they were completed in. This is my program completion timeline. So this laid out what my current educational experiences are, and then when I was going to hold myself accountable for completing the components of this practicum. And then finally, to wrap up the candidate info contents, this is the resume that I built for this course. And it was nice to be able to go back in and update my resume because that's something that I hadn't done for quite some time, probably not since I took my very first teaching job right out of college. So it was nice to be able to add in all of these updated pieces to my resume. The next section is the activities, and this was the largest part of this e-portfolio. And so first of all, it started out with the annotated bibliography, and so this was the piece that I think took me the most time in this e-portfolio. And there were 36 different resources that I had to locate and then go through and provide a summary, assessment, and reflection of those resources. And they were all pertaining to several different topics, and some of the topics I was able to choose and some of the topics were pre-chosen. But this was a very time-consuming but also very beneficial activity, as it allowed me to conduct my own research on each of these 12 different topics that were included throughout this annotated bibliography. Next is the activity log form and spreadsheet. So this is where I was able to go in and plug in all of my different activities that I completed throughout the semester and throughout this practicum in order to track my time that I spent in these activities, and also ensuring that I hit all of the necessary components and standards. So on the bottom here is the activity log spreadsheet. It just goes through all the hours that I spent in each of those activities and outlines all of the various components that were hit on each of those activities. And then along those same lines is the activity component tracker. And so this is where I was able to go in and mark and make sure that I was hitting the 5 district standards and components, the 7 to 10 elementary district, the 7 to 10 elementary components and standards, and then the 7 to 10 secondary components and standards. So you can see I have activities in each of these component boxes. So I was able to meet all the requirements for that piece. But this was a really great organizational tool to use throughout this practicum because it kind of kept me on track to see where I was at with the components and with the standards, and to make sure I was meeting all of the requirements. This is my district level activity artifact slideshow. So this goes through and lays out all the activities that I completed for my district level activities. And a lot of these are Powtoons and videos that I was able to cite as documentation for meeting the requirements of this piece of the ePortfolio. Then next is my elementary level activity artifact slideshow. And so just along those same lines as the district level activity, I had at least seven elementary activities that I completed. And so it goes through, and off to the right hand side it has the different documentation that I have to support that I engage in that activity, and then I go through and describe what that activity is and how it pertains to the standard. And then this is my secondary level activity artifact slideshow, and it has different videos and documentation off to the right, just like the other two, and then my description of how I met that standard and what I was doing during that activity in the middle. These are my administrative verification documents, so I was able to get 2 in on these, and one person holds 2 different roles, so really it is 3 different levels included here. And then this is my ePortfolio program and reflection, where I outlined my thoughts prior to the program, kind of during the program, and then post-program, and then I was able to kind of go through and figure out why I was thinking the way that I was thinking prior to the program, during the program, and after the program, and if my thoughts prior to the program were true, and I was able to kind of put them on trial a little bit. And then I was able to take a look at some of the most influential activities throughout each of the courses that I took for this non-degree endorsement program. And then on the bottom here is where this ePortfolio highlight video will be plugged back into. Thanks for watching.